Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adult Chair on rashpixel.fm. I'm Pete Wright, and I'm here, as always, with the delightful Michelle Chalfant.
Hello, Pete.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm really great.
Are you really great?
I am. I had sessions with clients all day, and I love it. So, yeah, it's
awesome.
been a great day. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, we're doing. This is another very special episode.
Yes.
We're here to introduce a conversation that you had with another client who has graciously allowed us to rebroadcast this conversation and about her introduction well, I'll let you explain that. But before we get into that, head over to theadultchair.com, learn more about this show, subscribe for free, sign up for the mailing list, and get the show delivered directly to your inbox, or sign up in iTunes for free in your podcast app of choice. And just do a quick search for the Adult Chair. You'll find us. And as always, you can join the conversation on Facebook or Twitter, or call us. You can leave your thoughts at 931-463-3813. 931-463-3813. We would love to hear from you. So, all right. So tell us, what is this conversation that you had with this particular client, and why is it important enough to share with our listeners?
I'm really excited to share this because I have some clients that are new to this, and of course people on air that are listening to the podcast that I don't have sessions with, that want to learn, how do I talk to my inner child? Like, when I'm in my child chair, what do I say? What do I do? So I'm taking a portion of this session that I had with Sarah, this client of mine, Sarah. She's a brand new client, and she was wondering, again, how to use these chairs and how she can apply this whole model into her life. So just a little bit of background. She had started dating this man about maybe 6 to 8 weeks ago, and she and he had an argument. Actually, what happened was she had said something to him, and he misinterpreted it. And they'd really fallen hard for each other. So you would have thought that maybe they could have had a conversation about it, but he wasn't able to. I think he was really, really triggered by what she said, and it was truly benign. And those are just details that aren't exactly important. But what happened was he shut her down completely. So he had misinterpreted something pretty benign that she said. He shut her down. And she tried to apologize. He just wouldn't hear it. He just kept shutting her down and didn't want to hear it and said it was over, and that was it. So she kind of, crashed about it. And she was very, very upset and sad and was crying for a few days, and then decided to come in and have a session. And this recording that you're going to hear is the part of the session where it's after we sat together and I took her into her inner feelings, which were, of course, she started out with, I just, wish I could fix this, and I don't know what to do, and he won't talk to me, and he's shutting me off. I just want to fix this. I just wish he would talk to me. And I want to get back to the word fix in a moment, but so anyway, so I just started out with, well, how does it make you feel when he won't talk to you? And then I don't remember what exactly it was. It was sad or something, and lonely, and all of these things. I said, well, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? And what we want to do is, when we're working with our feelings, is always try and get to I call it the center of the cream filling center of the cake. Like, we want to get to the root, the core, or another way I say it is, we want to take the elevator down into the basement, because we want to know what's at the root. So what came up for her was, with him, the way he's not reaching out to me after she's reached out and apologized numerous times, was she's starting to feel, or she hit the root of, I don't matter. So by him not so it was really deep. And I said, well, it's no wonder you've been crying for days. It's a hard one to handle if you don't know what to do with it. And that's why I love these chairs, because it helps us, it gives us a model of, so what do we do when we're in those emotions? And that's what I'm doing with her on this segment, is I'm working with her after she's hit I don't matter, and then we're working through I don't matter. It was a really, really, really good session. And after we had our session, it was within, I think it was within a few hours, she had reached back out to me, and she says, you wouldn't believe it. I feel so much more peaceful, and I just have a very different perspective on things, and everything changed. But what we do is, instead of feeling our emotions, we avoid them. And when I hear the word fix, it's like ding, 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 red flag. That's all the adolescent wants to do is fix things so we don't feel the pain. In fact, I just had a client today that came in. She's a brand new client. She'd been with me. This was her second session. And she says, well, I'm loving this. I connected with my child, and my child felt very lonely. And then my child wanted me to fix this pain. And I said, no, it's not your child. It's the adolescent coming in wanting to fix the pain.
Yeah, your child doesn't know what from fixing.
No,
Nothing.
The child just knows, I'm feeling lonely, or I'm feeling like I don't matter. Or I'm feeling whatever. I'm feeling sad, and it doesn't know how to fix it. So the child, who's no more than 7, might say something like, when that is why we ask the question, what are you feeling? And then what do you need when we're talking to our child? And the child might say hug, or tell me you love me, or hold my hand, or don't leave me, or something like that. Tell me you'll check in with me every day, things like that. So, I just want to, it kind of parallels with my client today is, why would I want to feel lonely, or why would I want to feel like I don't matter? It's because that's where we transform when we're able to sit in these emotions, because that's where then the new perspectives come in. And she said, well, I just don't want to feel lonely and sad anymore. And I said, if you can imagine a child that does feel lonely, if someone continues to check in with them daily or every other day, what will that do to their loneliness if you had to guess? She's like, oh, they probably wouldn't feel lonely anymore. I said, exactly. So it changes us, even though it's our personal adults checking in with our inner child, it truly, truly changes. And she had already had some changes that had happened in just 1 week, and she was blown away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's such a powerful process. And then the other thing I just wanted to say, when we're doing this work of checking in with the child, some people get confused and they think they have to go back in time and try and remember when they were 0 to 7 what they were feeling like then. That's not this process. That's not what I'm asking people to do. I'm asking them to just step into the energy of this childlike energy that we all have, that's innocent and precious and vulnerable, and ask that part of us who has the emotional age of no more than 7, how he or she is feeling. Not going back in time and trying to remember, but right now, when your boyfriend broke up with you, or your wife is mad at you, or your boss gets up, how does that make you feel right now? But from this vulnerable place, not trying to fix it,
Sure.
but from a vulnerable place. If that makes sense?
Yeah, totally. And that's what you cover in this ground with Sarah.
Yeah. So I'm just working with her on, okay, so after you feel the I don't matter, then what do we do with that? So I became the adult, and she stayed in her child, and I just walked with her through this process. And this same process, if we don't have someone that will do this with us, we can do it for ourselves. I've seen it done both ways. I do it both ways. I work with my own inner child, but it's incredibly powerful when we start connecting to this part of us.
So this makes for a great model. And again, very gracious thanks to Sarah for allowing us to share part of this conversation. It is just part of of a much longer conversation. So if it feels a little bit abrupt, that's because we're telling you the good parts that matter to this conversation, not the whole thing.
Right. Right. The other thing I just wanted to mention too is my client today mentioned that when she was connecting into her child, when she was doing some work on her own at home, and again, I've only seen her one time. I introduced this to her, and she started right away, and she's experiencing some great things. But she said, when I was trying to connect into my child, there were times where I flipped, and then I became the child, and then all of a sudden my adult looked like she was talking to me, and then I'd flip back. Am I going crazy? And I said, no, that's very, very normal. It happens. So do not be alarmed if suddenly you feel like it truly, like you feel like you've stepped into your child fully. That's completely normal. So,
Excellent.
Yes.
Wonderful model. And so now we give you this conversation with Sarah for this week. We hope you enjoy it and and it makes for, again, a great model. So think about this in terms of how you can apply it to the conversations you have with your own child as you get in touch with your own child. Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. On behalf of Michelle Chalfant, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll catch you next week after this conversation with Sarah.
Everything's about us. Everything's about you. It's all about you. And that's not selfish, but everything that happens in our lives, so everything that happens in your life is it's all about you. So that's why I want you to sit in this feeling of I don't matter. Like, go there and just really find it in your body. Where do you feel like I don't matter? Because that's what this is about. A part of this, at least, is about this.
I guess in a lot of my relationships.
When do you feel I don't matter in your body?
I don't know, it always goes back to my heart just tightens up.
Yeah. So can you just sit in that just for a minute? Like, really sit and breathe. Take really nice, good, slow, deep breaths. Let's help that emotion to move through. You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
It's still in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to observe what's going on in your heart and just keep feeling this I don't matter feeling. Can I ask you to close your eyes just for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go into I don't matter. Like, really feel it. Really bring it up in your body as much as you can. And I want to invite you to just travel back in time. See like a timeline in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
And jump on that timeline and just slide backwards. When was the first memory you had of feeling like you don't matter?
As a child.
How old were you? What number comes to you right away?
Oh, I have no idea.
Just if you sit with it and then ask yourself, I wonder how old I am. Just see what comes up for you. It's the first thought you have.
I guess like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have an experience?
No.
You
Not
just remember
anything.
feeling like...
Probably because I'm from a larger family and pretty much just had to do everything on my own. Because there was large age gaps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, keep sitting in that I don't matter. So so when you think back, like no one's paying attention to me, what is it like?
I don't know if I actually felt it back then, though.
You still feel it in your heart right now?
Not so much.
Okay, so if you stay with it, you'll realize there's a link, and there's the cream center to our cake or the basement floor of this apartment building we're in. We're trying to go back there. And you don't have to go back. If you don't have any memories, it's totally
I really don't. I mean, I have blocked out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I, kind of lived in a rural area, so it wasn't like there were a lot of kids around.
Right.
But the ones that did move in eventually, I became great friends with, and I was totally content, for when I was really little, just hanging out with my animals.
Yeah.
And taking walks and adventures, and...
It's because no one was around.
I don't think I knew any better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe it's a reflection as once I started getting older and finding friendships and and then I realized that my friends were always kind of more important than my family.
To you?
Yeah, to me.
Uh-huh.
They were there for me more.
Yeah. So did you have did your parents come up to you and say, you're important to me,
Never.
you matter to me,
No.
I love you?
No.
Okay. So when you sit in I don't matter, can you bring that back?
Mm-hmm.
Bring back I don't matter. Because as kids, if we're not loved on, touched, told those things, we do start to feel like we don't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a need of children,
Right.
you know? So I want you to, as you sit in I don't matter, where is it now?
It's back in my chest area.
So just keep breathing that through. So as you sit in this little girl place of I don't matter, from this little child place that you're sitting in, what do you feel like you need? What do you need when you feel like I don't matter?
I guess validation.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to offer you a few things because I know this is the first time you've really done this work, but you may feel like as a child, again, a 4-year-old little girl, yeah, validation. You may need a hug.
Yeah.
You may need, so think about things that a 4-year-old little girl would ask for or need when she's having this feeling of I don't matter. Still feel like validation?
Yeah, hug.
Yeah. Anything else?
Just to know I'm loved, I guess.
And how will you know that you're loved? What does that look like or feel like or hear like? Here. What will that sound like to you?
Peace.
Mm-hmm. So you just want to hear the words I love you?
No. Not just the words.
What words?
I mean, it has to, I think words definitely need to be accompanied by actions.
Okay. So what?
But I think both of them.
So what are the actions that need to happen? So you'll feel like you matter?
Just, I guess, the hugs, the being heard.
Mm-hmm. So someone that stops and takes the time for you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think being heard's a big part.
Yeah. Well, if when we feel like we're heard, then we feel like we exist and we're important and we matter, right? Right. Is it okay if I touch your knee?
Yeah.
Okay. May I give you a hug?
Sure.
Would you like that? Would your 4-year-old little baby like that?
I'm okay for now.
Okay, you tell me when.
Okay.
So, in this work, when we do this process and apply this, you can become your adult. Because there is an adult part of you, it's in there, it's lingering around. You don't know her that well. You physically are an adult, of course.
Right.
But there's a whole emotional component to this work. And since I'm with you, I can enroll as your adult.
Okay.
If that's okay with you?
Absolutely.
I can be your adult. So when I'm in an adult, I want you to stay in this child part because you're doing it beautifully, I might add. Like you said, you need that validation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I still feel like I don't matter. Okay, you got it? You feel your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as your adult right now, as the healthiest version of you that's able to connect to you, just hear this, okay? Let you hear this. I really love you. I know and believe that you matter, and you matter to me. Let that come in. You really matter to me. And you're right that when you were at that age, there was no one around. There was nobody around to let you know that you mattered. And I'm sorry for that. But I'm here now, and you really really matter to me. And I really, really love you. And I so care about what you have to say. And I love you.
Thank you.
Coming up for you now.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
You're awesome. I love you too.
Yeah. The reason that your caregivers didn't do that for you is because they weren't capable.
I know.
They didn't know.
No, I know that.
You know what, though? As a kid, when you're 4, we don't understand that.
Right.
And we start making up stories and try to understand why.
I didn't even know till I was in my late 20s.
Yeah. And we try to figure it out when we're growing up. And we compensate, right?
Right.
But then we learn what's true is that they're just as damaged or dysfunctional. So how can they give us what they don't have?
Yeah.
So if they feel like they don't matter, they don't know how to help you feel like you matter. They don't know what's important. So when you tune into that little girl again, that little 4-year-old, what's going on with her now? Either see her or be her.
I just see her playing with her dog.
Oh, and how does she seem to you?
Happy.
Is she different than before?
A little more playful.
Mm-hmm. So can you see her in your mind's eye?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you ask her how she's doing now? And what does she say?
More at peace.
Ask her what she needs.
That's the part that's tricky.
Mm-hmm. And why is it tricky? What's tricky about it?
I don't know if I know the exact answer.
Right, because we don't know this part of us really well. Right. So you can either be her or see her.
I can see her.
Okay. So imagine her, you can eyes open or closed, however you're seeing her. Just I want you to walk up to her. You see her playing with her dog. I want you to just say, hey, I want to talk to you. Come here. And ask her how she's feeling. And let her express her feelings to you. And then ask her what she needs, okay?
I mean, I think it just, it still goes back to the, mattering or
okay.
Just a hug every now and then.
Okay. So, are you still standing next to her? Okay. So can you let her know right now that you would like to give her a hug, if that's okay? And I want you to see you, adult you, giving her this little beautiful 4-year-old a hug. So go ahead and do that now. And then let her know, whisper in her ear, you matter to me. Go ahead and do that now. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Let her know that you're sorry that all of this happened when she was 4. But you're here now. The adult you is here now. And you're going to start taking care of her, checking in with her, and letting her know that she matters, and giving her lots of hugs. Let her know that. And let her know how much you love her. What's happening? You talking to her?
Yeah, I think at first it was kind of, she wanted the hug from her parents instead.
And what'd you say?
That I'm the one here and I'll be here for her.
Good. What did she say to that?
But kind of a hesitant but...
And she doesn't know you.
Right.
She doesn't know our inner children, our inner child parts. They don't know these healthy versions of us. They know the adolescent part, when we're in that adolescent chair, that's the part that's pushing them away all the time and ignoring them.
Right.
But this part that just approached her is
You're the adult you. And that part is the part that has the ability and capability to take care of her emotionally and help her to get her needs met. That's where true healing takes place. It's perfectly normal that she's looking at you like, who are you? She doesn't know. Let her know that you're going to take your time with her, and if she needs to take time with you and get to know you, that you are with her until the end of time. And that you totally understand and you love her anyway. Keep letting her know how much you love her. And then you're here with her, and that she really matters. And interact with her, whatever you need to say or do right now, go ahead and spend that time doing that with her.